I have discovered something in my partner's phone that shocked me, and I don't know how to proceed from here. I'll try to be concise and clear without risking to sound too emotional. I'm sorry in advance for formatting issues, as I'm currently typing isthys from my phone. Also, this account is a throwaway. My long-term boyfriend of 4 years and I live together. 2 months into living together, I was waiting in the living room for a soccer game to start while he was in the shower. It's being live-streamed from his phone via Chromecast and the live stream was playing up, so I went on his phone to change it to another live stream platform. He shared his passcode with me ages ago, so I knew his code. I unlocked his phone and that's when I saw he has unread messages on his phone. I knew logically I shouldn't have looked, but I had this really heavy feeling that something wasn't right and I felt compelled to open his messages app. It was there I saw that he has an active message convo from a name I'm not familiar of, and I like to believe I know everyone in his life now. I also saw that the message thread was muted. Based on past experiences I knew what muted meant, and the heavy feeling got worse, so I opened it. Their messages to each other seemed unusual, and from there I couldn't stop reading. It's a co-worker of his, female, and looks like they're constantly texting and talking to each other almost on a daily basis. And the common topic that they talk about is, well, me. Basically venting to her about things that I've done wrong, venting about things he dislikes about me, our fights, things that I didn't even know he was feeling and never told me about. One of the things he ranted to her about was the fact that I couldn't afford to fly interstate with him for his grandma's funeral, which I really wanted to go to, but the tickets were 250% of normal fare. And also how I couldn't take leave from work. However, that same week I was so ill from the stress that I had a chronic migraine flare-up that leaves me bedridden, and had to take a day off work because my head was exploding. He complained to her how shitty it was that I couldn't come up for the funeral but was okay being sick off work. I didn't choose to be sick. And the girl sarcastically said, wow, such a tragedy, as a judgment towards me. And sarcastic tones about me. But what bothered me is the fact that he's ranting and talking negative things about me to this female co-worker whom I don't even know. And he didn't even defend me. He allowed this girl that I don't know to talk shit about me while he was venting to her about his frustration about me. I feel so hurt. As if my trust within our relationship has broken. I know it's my fault for snooping when I shouldn't have. But I felt like since he gave me his passcode I didn't think he had anything to hide. But then why mute their message thread? I also understand the need to vent, outside the relationship. But I thought there would be some sort of consideration on who you vent out to, you know? I've refrained from talking ill about him to my best friends of 20 years when I'm upset cause I know my boyfriend and I will work through it. But this is a co-worker? That I've never met or know. And also the opposite gender? The fact that the same consideration was not reciprocated really hurts. Please share with me what are your thoughts so far. I could use your logical sense to get me out of this emotional rut. I also have BPD, so I am also conscious that I may be blowing this way out of proportion. How can I face him about this? Update: I sat down and had a heated yet open discussion with him and he has apologized for his behavior. I would like to add some further background info about my partner who explained the reasons as to why he started vented to her in the first place. We have had several communication issues during our relationship where we both struggled to open up about what's bothering us. For his case, he said he felt like he could never really open up and be honest with me whenever something is bothering him, because in the past it led to us arguing and me blowing up at him. He felt like he was not heard or validated with his feelings during these heated fights, to which I admit all fault because my BPD tendencies gets in the way of full anger and being argumentative. I have shut him down several times whenever he opened up about his feelings, and it is something I definitely admit that I need to work on. I need to improve on communicating better and listening to him more, to which we have spoke about plenty of times. Overall, I admit that I have contributed faults into this situation. I feel hurt and betrayed that this wasn't kept within our relationship and he has opened it up to a very biased party who clearly has feelings for him. He said he willing to work together for us to get past this. He also sent a message to end the friendship and blocked her. I also made it clear to him that he is welcome to vent, but only to trusted parties that know both of us very well and does not have malicious intent like his co-worker clearly had. We are also open to the idea of couples counseling and therapy. I guess time will tell on how this will go. Comment. I worry for you. If he doesn't stop the communication, he will cheat. She is lining it up to make that happen, and it seems like he maybe knows it and is trying to see how far he can take it. Say something to him or he's gonna hurt you. It's not because of potential cheating that I worry for up, but for actually just having moved in with that hugely disloyal shit and sorry excuse of a man. What is this, pray? Hashing through her menu behavior with someone who doesn't even know up? Depending whose flat it is, he would have left the apparent after leaving the shower. Straight and out. No way to repair that. He is making himself pitiful and up the bad person to get attention from his coworker. That's so messed up and disloyal. Yikes. From her update it seems like she's not a safe person for him to bring up issues with. There are deeper problems in the relationship and it isn't fair to put all the blame on him. Yeah, he handled this poorly, but it's also easier sometimes to vent about relationship issues with women because they're more interested in that stuff. He was shutting down any flirting, which means he wasn't trying to cheat. Also, unless up was broke, not flying to his grandma's funeral was a dick move. If he has problems with you, he needs to respect you enough to talk to you about them. It's also a breach of his trust and disrespectful to go through his phone. However, if you were given reason to suspect he might be cheating, I get why you would. You'll need to own that you looked through his phone, but this is definitely something you'll want to talk to him about. Your man should have your back for when other people talk shit about you, not be the perpetrator of the shit talking. What he said about you is mean and disrespectful and none of that woman's business. And he needs to not be emotionally available to her in ways he is not to you if he's talking to her and complaining about you. Next story 2. My wife is afraid that I'm going to be unfaithful, even though she's the one that has cheated. My wife of 11 years doesn't like me hanging out with a friend, let's call her K, because she is worried that I have feelings for K and might end up cheating. For context, I only hang out with my friend when her husband, 32, who has been my best friend since we were 4 years old, is present. Me and K have a lot in common, and play in a Pathfinder game ran by my best friend, so I see her a lot, yet again with other people present. Me and K do text quite a bit, but it's only ever about game-related stuff. After all our sessions, I report what happened to my wife because we also play in a game I run with different friends. Anyways, me and my wife have had a few rough patches, and most recently she's informed me that she doesn't like hanging out with my friends because she's afraid I want to sleep with Kay and that I have feelings for her. I tell my wife no, that's a thought that's never crossed my mind for a few reasons. Mainly, I married you and I'm committed to us. Not only that, but Kay is married to my best friend. I've also told my wife that even though me and Kay have a lot in common, I have more in common with my wife and she is my person, not Kay. She claims I'm interested in Kay because I talk about her all the time. I don't though, and have basically not said K's name since the first time it was brought up. If anything, I'm the one that should be insecure in my marriage. I've never brought up the irony in my wife's accusations because I've never cheated emotionally or physically, but she has. At around the 5-year mark she emotionally cheated for at least a month and physically cheated only once, according to her. I cannot verify that statement. I chose to look past it because at that point I hadn't been a good partner to her and she was feeling pressure from a former friend to do it. However, about a year after the fact, I was using her phone because mine had died and I was needing to talk with my parents, and she received multiple texts from a different guy. I, being previously betrayed, stupidly snooped through their messages, finding out that she had been chatting with this guy for about 3 months. Again, emotionally cheating, but there was no evidence of them meeting up in person ever. I never told my wife about me finding out about this, and I looked past it because I was too scared to find out if there was anything more to it. On top of all this, before we were exclusively dating, my wife hooked up with her ex. I looked past it because we weren't officially dating, but maybe I should have seen a red flag. I try to not think about these things, but it's hard not to, you know. I don't know what to do because these are my friends that I spend time with on a weekly basis and have done so for a majority of my life. I've offered to just stop hanging out with them and to stop texting Kay, but my wife refuses because they're my friends. I'm at a loss as the reason of the sudden problem it's become and her hypocrisy. I've reassured her that I only have eyes for my wife so many times, but she never seems to believe me. I'm just at a loss. Comment. I'm sorry you're going through this, buddy. But I feel like your wife is currently still cheating on you, because cheaters typically accuse others of cheating or wanting to cheat. She's been the only one that's unfaithful. I feel like your best bet is to contact an attorney and look at your options for divorce. Because things will probably just get worse. I could suggest marriage counseling. But if she's still talking to other men without your knowledge, she's still being unfaithful, and now she's worried you're doing so as well. So she's also a hypocrite. Your best bet is just to contact an attorney and get your affairs in order and gather whatever evidence you have of her infidelity. This is really the only positive route I can think of. Sorry, but it's time to stand up for yourself. Tell her she's only accusing you because she's a cheater. Stop rug sweeping her bad behavior. Put your cards on the table. Stop just letting things go because you are fearful of the fallout. Your wife is still cheating or intends to do so in the future. She is suspicious of you because she knows that she is guilty. It's called projection and is very common in cheaters. Just throw the whole woman away, she's pure garbage. Check her phone, and if you do not have access to the phone itself and you are on a shared plan, then look up the phone records, to see if you can find anything, especially around the time she started throwing these accusations at you.